Hello, we're going to let you share this feed for a little bit more. My name is Elias Munsha, and I am coming to you live from Calgary, Alberta. Good evening, Chuempala. Good evening, Africa. Good evening, Central and Southern Africa. Good evening, Zambia. Good evening, Chadiza, Mbala, Nakonde, Mongu, Solwezi, Mwinilunga, Chirundu. In fact, Chirundu, one of the hottest places on the face of the earth. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, you've been telling me to say, Elias Munsha, why are you so lonely on TV, Bakwetu? Where is General? General is here today, and we are going to continue with our usual system of doing things. Mr. Norman Chipakupaku, also called General, please welcome to our program today.
Thank you so much, Musha. Thank you so much for keeping TV Bakwetu hot. I watched some of the programs live, but some of them I couldn't. But traditionally, I should start by saying good evening, Chuempala. And I think good evening is soccer today. And good evening, my brothers and sisters in Kabompo. And good evening to my good friends in Mwanjabantu in Petauke district. Munsha, it's good to be back. I took a rest and you won't believe it, Munsha, the messages I was receiving. The messages I was receiving, one of them says, Mr. Chipakpak, General, you have been arrested. We hear that the radio TV Wakwet is going to be closed. So I just laughed. I said, no, I'm coming back. The other one, the other one says, we hear you are in Zambia, but you don't want to be arrested. That's why you are hiding. No, I didn't hide. I didn't hide. I was on holiday. I also had to make sure that I was there for my grandson's engagement party, which was fantastic. Those of you who follow me on Facebook, you saw that my grandson is getting married to a very beautiful girl, and so I had to be there. So Washikombe, I was in Washikombe in my best, and so that's why I was away, guys. I was away, Musha, because I wanted a break.
Right.
I really needed a break because I've just been doing so much for work, for Zambia, for my party. I've just come out from a meeting now. We are sending PPEs. We have raised enough money, and the Scottish government has given us some money. Things are moving.
Right.
I've just come out from a meeting. We have raised enough money through our campaign, and we're raising enough money. The shipment is going out, and we are getting in touch with Zambian government to make sure that things are cleared quickly. So I needed a break, Musha. But I also needed a break for the last 20 days.
All right.
Because these last 20 days are going to be crucial for Zambia's future. So I wanted to be fresh. And I think our viewers can tell that I'm fresh tonight. I'm very, very fresh. And I've got enough water because it's very hot here.
We haven't seen the water. Please show us the water.
That's the water. That is the Scottish water. I don't have Sunquick today. This is my beautiful water. It's called Highland Spring from Scotland. This is the best water in Scotland. So this is Munjanjata. This is Highland Spring.
So I also have one. So I'm looking forward to today's discussion. That's why I also came with water. No coffee. Coffee is by the side, but water is the main thing.
No, our viewers, you should be assured that I took my last coffee at 5 o'clock today. Because I wanted to be alert and sharp, and I'm very refreshed because I had a beautiful weekend over the Highlands, so I'm sharp.
Yeah. Now, General, some of the things is our people may never appreciate the kind of sacrifice that we must do to bring TV Bakwetu, and to be available to help steer our country's direction. And so we that do some of these things make tremendous sacrifice. And so I want to thank you for your sacrifice to our country.
Musha, we only have one Zambia. Right. We will never have another Zambia anywhere. We can be in the UK, we can be in Scotland, we can be in Canada, we can be in the US, it can be everywhere. And for us, some of us, we are proud of what Zambia gave us. So we have to get a better Zambia, Musha. And when I saw them signing a peace agreement yesterday, the secretary generals of the two political parties, big parties, I only say to myself, God, I hope people are serious, because we only got one Zambia.
Right. I agree, and so that's tremendous sacrifice, because Zambia truly matters, and so we do what we do because we like our country. I do take some time off from my own company here during the day, because it's already late, so nishina mwinuka general it's during the day, but I have no regret over the kind of investment that I am doing, participating in the processes of our country. It's tremendous sacrifice. Also, in terms of family, but what is the sacrifice that we are making that is greater than people who sacrificed a lot to make Zambia independent? If we are just taking a few hours off work, but to those great patriots, Kenneth Kaunda, Kapwepwe, Kapwepwe, the controversial Kapwepwe. Anyway, all of them, they made tremendous sacrifices. So we have no reason why we shouldn't be at the forefront in this little way, with this little light that we have to shine in the darkness of what administration is doing. So welcome back. We are very excited to have you. Several people were going berserk. I had young men, young women, old men, old women, everybody. Like, where is General? I'm like, relax, people. General will be back. So let's get started, General. While you were gone, there was what is known as the debt swap. So I want to start with the debt swap first of all. Now, General, we have a name for it. It's the Kelenka Debt Swap. And the reason why we are calling it Kelenka, General, is because the government of Zambia lied to the people of Zambia. No, before I go any further, General, first of all, you've had days to reflect and refresh. What do you think about that?
Munsha, I was very naughty. I posted something on my Facebook page 3 days ago. Those of you who are poor like me, who grew up in a house which had a lot of rats, houses which had rats in the village.
Right.
There were rats or mice, whatever you want to call them, coming into our house. So we had to put a trap to get rid of the rats. We had to put a trap, kambarara, to attract them, just for them to be attracted.
Right.
To me, it looks like this debt trap is not a debt trap. It's a debt trap, not swap. They just want to get hold of the teachers, 60,000 teachers who are so heavily indebted, right, plus the civil servants for the vote. What is happening, Musha, is that they want these teachers, some of them will be returning officers.
Right.
Some of these will be polling, they'll be manning polling stations. Musha, it's very, very clear they want some of these teachers to mislead our people from voting, when voting. And some of these people, teachers who are being told that it's a debt swap. There's no, how can you have a debt swap when you have no money?
That's remarkable, General. Here is the question. How can you have a debt swap when you have no money? I understand that Amos Kandolo Malupenga, General, was saying today that they have money in the treasury that they will use for the debt swap. Do you agree?
I don't. They have defaulted on the Euro bonds.
Right.
They have defaulted on the Chinese loans. Right. Where are they going to get the money in the treasury to pay for this debt trap? I call it the debt trap myself.
Right.
It's like they're basically trapping the teachers and the civil servants to help them try and win this election. Where is the money coming from?
Right.
These people are just playing games. First of all, Munsha, how can government get involved in private loans? How can government be involved in an personal loan signed by the individual? These contracts, you are the lawyer, Munsha, I'm not the lawyer. These contracts are between the teachers, the civil servants, and the banks the civil servants and the microfinance companies, and the other group which they're not mentioning here, Ingaba Abakaloba, the loan sharks. How are they going to have a debt swap with the loan sharks?
Yeah, that's that's clearly the thing. Now, we need to be very clear, General, that we are not against our civil servants. What we are saying is that the government is lying to the civil servants. That's what we're saying.
This is a political gimmick. After July, God forbid, this government came in, they'll be told, no problem, no, we actually meant, this is what we meant. You are still going to pay these loans. There is no way that the government can pay personal loans of individuals.
Right.
First of all, they have no money.
Right.
Government still owes oil suppliers $700 million US. Where do they get the money to pay the debts? First of all, how much do they even know how much is involved?
Some figures are saying 6 billion kwacha, 6 billion kwacha in terms of civil servants' debt. 6 billion kwacha. Where are they going to get the 6 billion kwacha to cover that? This is a government of liars. Now, General, when we say that this is a government of liars, some people think that we are just trying to be difficult. I know we are difficult a little bit. But this is a lie, you know? It's complete lies. Now, General, what I was expecting was when Amos Malupenga and Dr. Simon Miti announced this debt swap, that they had already spoken to the banks. In fact, that's how they sold it to us. They told us that they've already spoken with Bayport, Izwe Loans, is it Finca, Stanchart, all these banks. That's what they told us.
No.
They even assured the civil servants that beginning in July, all of you civil servants, muisakamana yo, pantu, natubomberapo. That's what they were saying. Only to hear that after they've already announced, we see that they were meeting the banks today. Now, General, can I tell you what the readouts of those meetings?
Yes, go ahead, Musha.
There is no contract out of that meeting. There is no communique. How do you call it, General?
Communique.
Communique. Thank you. There was no communique from the meeting. The only thing that we saw was government itself announcing what it had told the banks. There is no change in the contract. There is no addenda to the contracts. There is nothing. All that we hear is government saying, we told the banks that we have released. And again, I say it, General, this is a government of releasing. They don't say it's releasing. So they've released, we told the banks that we've released money, and then we urged the banks not to collect on the debts for the coming 3 months. Now, when we say this, it's not because it is us who are trying to be a problem. This is the government that has millions of civil servants. Is it thousands of civil servants? It has access to lawyers. It has access to financial experts. It has access to Economic Association of Kandolo. It has access to all these. And yet, when it comes to doing the right things, they do the wrong things. And when we point out that what they're doing is actually wrong, false, and illegal, some people think that we are the ones who are a problem, General.
I think this is a false, it's a political gimmick.
Right, that's what it is.
For these civil servants, they'll end up defaulting on these loans. And there's an element of interest as well.
General,
there's an element of default.
We need to be very clear. General, what the government wants to do is to default on the few thousand civil servants that get their pay through the Public Service Management Division, PMSD payroll. That is what it is. It's a default.
Yeah, but if it's a default, then the people who are going to be penalized are the individual borrowers themselves.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with government.
Right.
And if what I get from my sources, Musha, is that the government has been deducting money for months and months. It has not been remitting this money to the banks and remitting this money to the microfinance companies.
Right.
Now, they are trying to use the same amount of money and say, we are going to clear the debt. How can you clear the debt from the loan deductions of the it's not why can't they pay the banks what they collected from the civil servants?
Yeah.
Why can't they pay? Why should they swap? Why should they swap a loan with your housing allowance or your rural hardship allowance? Why? Why not just whatever they deducted from the civil servants, pay to the banks, and whatever they owe the civil servants, pay them for what they owe, and then the civil servants will know what to do for themselves.
Right. Now, General, one of the additional things, the letter that Secretary to Cabinet has sent today is to instruct banks. Okay. Now, this is funny. So first of all, they're instructing banks to withhold payments. But secondly, they've instructed the government, heads of department, not to approve loan requests for civil servants. You remember the letters that civil servants must get, right? So you go to Bayport or Iswe to get a loan, and then they ask you to bring a letter of employment.
Yeah.
So what this gentleman is doing is he has instructed the entire civil servant heads of department not to issue those letters to civil servants who may want to borrow some money for the next 3 months.
Musha, you are the lawyer. This is against the law. First of all, these companies, these banks are businesses. They are not charities. They are not government departments. Whether it's Bayport, whether it's Ingwe or whatever financial company, these are companies which are paying tax. They are employing their own staff. So we are going to have a situation where these microfinance companies will completely make a loss, and the banks will also make a loss. And at the same time, now you are interfering with the personal and individual right to borrow. It's their right to go and borrow. These civil servants have got the right to go and borrow. You are now saying don't. So it's the whole economy is going to be impacted, Musha. These companies, they will lose money. They will then offload people from work. The banks will lose money. The civil servants for 3 months, some of them might have no enough cash flow to survive. How will they survive? Because the teachers I know, some of them are only getting 1,500 from their salary. How will they survive if they can't have the authority to go and borrow from? It's complete disaster. It's a disaster.
Now that is impacting those that are already borrowing, but those that are already in debt. But it's not everyone in the civil service who is in debt. What government is essentially doing is that even those people that have good credit rating and they've not borrowed as much, they still can't borrow for the next 3 months until government apparently figures out this debt swap thing. We told our people, this is not complicated, General, right? General, you tell me, okay, General, I'll not speak for the next few minutes. You tell me whether what we are saying, if you're to later and Pano General, whether there is no sense. You tell me.
It's common sense. It's common sense. First of all, this government has had 7 years. I dealt with the teachers myself. I don't want to mention the names of the people I've been dealing with in the teachers' union. They knew about this debt for years. What have they been doing? What have they been doing to wait for 30 days before elections? For them to think of something called the debt swap. Musha, Zambia owes a lot of money to the Chinese and the Euro bonds. Will the Chinese come and say, Zambia, now we are going to have a debt swap. We are going to take over your mines. We are going to take over your land. Because that's what it means. We are going to swap over our debt. No, they can't. The Chinese can't do that because it's not part of the contract. So how can you go on a private business, a private loan, and say, no, we are taking over this loan, we are going to pay it on your behalf. Meanwhile, you can't borrow anymore. The majority are in debt, the teachers especially. The teachers are in serious debt, but not all the civil servants are in debt. So why stop them for 3 months from borrowing?
It
doesn't make any sense at all. To me, they are just trying to find a way of getting votes from civil servants, especially civil servants who don't understand how the economy works. Secondly, they want to use the civil servants, especially teachers, to cheat during elections. Because, you know, Musha, I'll tell you what the information we're getting now. They'll be getting 4 ballot papers. These ballot papers will be manned by teachers. They'll have a stamp, Chidindo.
Right.
We hear they've told these teachers, some of these teachers, don't put a Chidindo, especially in Southern Province, Western Province, and the Copper Belt. Don't put a Chidindo, especially in the rural areas, so that these votes are nullified. This is what they're trying to do with these teachers. We know this. So it's not a debt swap, it's a debt trap, and it's going to impact negatively on the economy. Not only that, Musha, it simply means the internal debt is getting bigger.
Right.
That's what it simply means.
Yeah. Yeah. And so government, the critical thing is they have no plan. Absolutely no plan. Nothing. They have no plan, Jen.
Not only plan, Musha, they don't even have the capacity.
Right.
They don't have the capacity to raise 6 billion kwacha and pay it from where? Are they going to print it in State House? Where's this money coming from?
No, they'll go and borrow more from China.
They'll go and borrow more from China. Probably they will do that. But at the moment, they have no capacity. They cannot go and borrow to pay private debt. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any economic sense. Now, General, so the president apparently, because he listens to TV Bakwetu or someone in his office. So when we put them under pressure, we tell them, General, I want to be very clear here. I never said that the president No. When you say kateka takwatamano, it's an offense. But when you say that if you kateka reranda tamuliamano, you are safe, because it's not the president that you are talking about. It is the words that he is saying. So you're saying, kateka, if you baleranda fiabufi. So that it's his words. Ama words yabakateka emuliubu fi. So he did a write-up apparently trying to explain himself about what he has done during COVID. And so I read it and I'm like, his team, they have no idea what they are talking about. The biggest issue, General, in Zambia, it's not the 30,000 money they were giving artists. It is the fact that the president and his cabinet, they go and borrow money without telling the people of Zambia how much they are borrowing and where they're taking it. If State House wanted to be transparent and control Zambian economy today, they would be very, very transparent about how much kaloba they've borrowed. Because it is the kaloba that has put pressure on the Zambian economy. General Ndebepa.
I read Mr. Lungu's page every day. I know they blocked me, but I'm able to read. Whoever's writing the stuff for him is complete nonsense. Whatever is being written on his page is complete nonsense. And thank God the Zambians are reading and replying. You know, the number of people replying on those pages to say, Mulebe Pavakateka. You know, you're not telling the truth. So those statements which are being issued every day, you can tell to say it's desperation. Whoever is writing, because I know it's not Mr. Lungu writing those. It's somebody, probably Chipampe. What is his name? Kandolo Chipampe writing that.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Lungu, from the way he speaks, is not capable of writing that. He can't write. That's what I can tell. You can write what you speak, Musha. But he can't read, he can't write, he can't speak, so he can't write. So Mr. Chipampe, whatever is posting is complete nonsense. And it's actually showing signs of desperation. Musha, before I went for a break, I told you, these people borrowed more money a day before Parliament was dissolved, so that they can pay their friends for the fertilizer. You remember what I said about the Zambian Guptas?
Right, yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, they borrowed. Now we hear.
Yeah.
Now we hear they are paying themselves. They are paying a Zimbabwean company millions for the medical supplies which were done 3 years ago. There's interest being paid there. and somebody has been flying into Harare to make the payments, it's just crazy.
Right.
How can you be borrowing and paying at night? And when you're paying, you're also asking for commissions. This is what is happening.
So,
how do you fly to Harare at night? What are you doing in Harare at night? We know you've been flying to Harare at night.
At midnight.
In Harare.
In Harare. Wafia. So General, that's why all those statements, they don't make sense. The president has failed. It's a very simple thing. The president, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, has completely failed to control and right the ship. He has no plan. And so what he's doing is just writing lies. I'm not saying he's a liar. I'm saying what he writes on his Facebook page, there are statements that are just full of lies completely. He's talking of a framework that he provided for Zambian companies. Which Zambian companies benefited from that? That facility was just for banks.
It never
so that
worked.
The banks can at least survive for a little bit. Which small-scale Zambian company survived? Are they distributed money to homes? Which homes did they distribute? Disaster management unit has been distributing money to corrupt voters. It has been politicized.
Yeah, but Musha, I think I've said to our viewers many times, get it from me. The social cash transfer is my money. I pay the tax to the British government, which gives the Zambian government the money to give the social cash transfer. So I was hearing people today boasting on their virtual show, no, we are giving you money from Wakateka. Social cash transfer is not your money. It's the donors, it's the EU, it's the British. Yes, my tax is going to the Zambian government to support social cash transfer. But somebody is boasting to say, Wakateka. Don't lie. Mr. President, don't lie. Tell the people the truth.
Yeah.
Why was Kabanchi arrested? Because they abused money and the donors had to withdraw most of the money.
Right.
So they should not. So whatever they're writing on the page, Mr. President, complete lies. It's a sign of desperation. Musha, we are flying solo. We are flying like an on autopilot for the next 20 days. And the amount of desperation now, especially seeing what I saw in the vision, I was watching the so-called virtual rallies. It's just it's a disgrace. It's completely disgrace. It's a sign of desperation. Over to you, Muti.
They went tribal over the virtual rallies. So we believe that if the Zambian government were truthful, right, General, if they were truthful with the people of Zambia, sit down with the people of Zambia, explain to the people of Zambia that this government has wasted and completely failed to run the Zambian economy. Maybe the people of Zambia would have done what? Would have understood. They would have understood it to cover it. It's normal. Woman. The problem is President Lungu and Simon Miti Kandolo and several other civil servants, senior civil servants right now, instead of being humble, reflect, continued adding salt to the insults. Is it injury to salt? They've continued adding salt to the injuries. They've continued to lie. They're doubling down on the lies. And therefore, we as TV Bakweto, all we are doing is to tell them, you cannot be lying to the people of Zambia like this, to the civil servants. You cannot be upsetting the economic integrity of our country simply because you want civil servants or a few teachers to fix the election for you next month. You can't do that. Certainly not as long as we are breathing, General. Wine.
Yeah, I mean, Moshe, for me, I want to have this message for the teachers in Zambia, my friends at the Zambia National Teachers Union, and all those independent teachers unions. Do not allow PF to abuse you. Yeah. I know that the unions have been abused. You know, I've got friends in the teachers union. I know that they are good people. Do not allow PF to abuse you, to abuse your members just because you are in debt. I know you're in debt. Yeah. Because I know I've been dealing with the teachers union for some time. I know the problems. Right. But do not allow this government to abuse you and even abuse the electoral system just to keep PF going, just for them to promise you lies to say they're going to clear the debt. They are not going to do it because that debt is your personal debt. It doesn't belong to the state. So, Munsha, we are dealing with a Kelenka. I think that's the right word. People who are, this government is so desperate.
Right.
They're so desperate that they are now ready to corrupt anybody.
Right.
In order to remain in office. They will corrupt anybody. They will try and corrupt anybody. The latest debt swap now is trying to openly corrupt the civil service.
Right. And so we've received several presentations from civil servants. They're saying, oh, this was a lie. Stanbic still went ahead and deducted. Israel Loans and Bayport, they already knew that this was coming, so they swapped repayment from the government public management service division payroll to deduct.
Bank. Yeah.
So, which means then that it's just very few civil servants that still remained at public service management division. So those are the ones that the government will default on this month. And then when they default, they are going to give the impression as if they have suddenly provided relief to the civil servants, which is a lie. Otherwise, a majority of civil servants who are being deducted through deduct, they'll continue to be deducted. And they've already been deducted as today as we speak.
Yeah,
which makes it much more interesting. And then the government continues, therefore, to hold this meeting with banks. There is no joint communique. There's still no word from the banks. Remember, they are the banks. They are the ones who are party to the contract. No word. All we are hearing is Mr. Amos Kandolo Malupenga lying to the people of Zambia that they have somehow prevailed upon the banks to change anything. That is not true. Our financial system cannot stay 3 months without banks having money rotate through their accounts. Our banks cannot exist 3 months without having a chunk of stable income in our economy, who are civil servants, without having their money rotate through the banks. It would collapse. But that is the truth that President Lungu knows, but is using these lies, at least for the next few days, so that they can hoodwink a few civil servants. They can hoodwink the people of Zambia into thinking that they're doing anything fundamental. The other thing, General, is Dr. Samba.
Before you proceed, Zambians should know that the Zambian government only has shares in Zanaco. Okay? The major shareholder in Zanaco is a cooperative called Triodos Bank in Holland. Right. I know the story very well because I've done a lot of work for Triodos Bank. Now, the Zambian government has no shares in First National Bank. These are private banks. So you cannot go to private banks and order them and tell them how to run their business. Zambia is not China. Not even China would do that.
Not even China would do that, no.
Not even China.
Yeah.
Probably Russia would go and say, no, now give this one loan, give that one loan. Those are private banks.
Yeah.
Those are banks which are owned by shareholders.
Right.
If I was a shareholder of the First National Bank or Zanaco, I would refuse for government to interfere with the bank where I invested my shares.
Yeah, because in fact, government does not have a good reputation.
No.
It has been defaulting on its own loans. What makes you think that it is suddenly going to pay when it comes to civil servants' debt? This is a
government which defaulted on the Euro banks or on the Euro bonds. not the principal, but the interest, not the main principal. Remember, Musha, we still have to pay 750 million US dollars for Euro bonds 2022. These guys failed to pay the interest, not the principal. So if they fail to pay the interest of the Euro bonds, by the way, Zambians, if you don't know where the Euro bonds went, Zambia Railways, they spent a lot of money, wasted. ZESCO, wasted. Roads, some of them wasted. So that's where the Euro bonds went. And they were told to pay interest. They failed to pay interest. Yeah. Not the principal amount, interest. How can then they be able to pay another 6 billion? Meanwhile, people are still sleeping at the Ministry of Legal Affairs, waiting for their pension.
General, you and I to analyze Polola, the debt swap. What we find is that these are Kelenkas.
Proper Kelenkas. Baka desperate Kelenkas for that matter.
Right. If it was Sangamo. There are comments here, but before we go to the comments, General, we need to address several other issues. So the UPND tried to come up with the virtual rally. What happened with that one? I didn't follow it very well.
Well, the virtual rally was supposed to be held on the 18th. There was a technical problem on the evening of the 17th. And we decided to pull it off and postpone it to the following weekend, because we also realized that PF had followed our virtual rally. They had gone to ZNBC. They have spent 2.5 million kwacha taking over all the stations. They wanted it to coincide with us on the 18th. So we said, no, let them go ahead. So let them fool themselves. And we've actually seen how foolish they've been.
Yeah, because the headline from that was the tribalist campaign.
Exactly. In one broadcast, HH's name was mentioned 177 times. And ECL's name, I think, was mentioned only about 55 to 25, between 25 and 56 times. So this campaign, Musha, I think we did well to sort of postpone our virtual rally, which is taking place next weekend, was to see how funny PF was. And their speakers, the first speakers, you can tell to say they're so frustrated and they are so scared of HH. I spent some time this afternoon, spent my lunch listening to the speakers this afternoon. Doris Leah is not the same Doris Leah, She was trying to put a strong face, and no, she's not. Kampiongo, Stephen Katondo Kampiongo Kandolo, trying to pretend to be an army commander, a chief of police. No. You can tell. The worst one was my young boy, Anthony Mumba. Oh, good Lord. Good Lord. I thought that young man was very smart. He didn't know what to say. And then finally, I call him Bill 10. Bill 10, Commander-in-Chief. It's a sign that these people are so desperate. Desperate. But thank God we agreed to postpone ours. Wait for fireworks next week. But the whole thing is about HH and the Tongas. And I thought we were beyond that. I thought we were beyond that. I thought they were going to learn a lesson and say, look, let's not cheapen ourselves like that. Today, they didn't talk about the Tongas. They talked about one man, one person. Today, they were even afraid to mention his name. They were just saying that man. But we know which man you're afraid of.
General, they were just saying Atudio Muntu. Ati uja muntu. Muchinyanja. Uja muntu uja. Ati uti. Ati wamene uja.
Wamene uja. I heard Dora saying, "Me waya akwasu, akupeta uke, ule muntu numuipa ngako." Which man? Mention his name. We know him.
So guys, you can misunderstand. Ati uja wamene uja. I like Nyanja. General, I like Nyanja. Ati wamene uja ni wamene.
Akuti Musha. Ati Dora brought in another Eastern province saying, mwanakazi wako ni wamene uja ali munganda. So osa funa wina mwanakazi which means keep PF because mwanakazi wako ali munganda. No, PF kuya bebele. You know, if the wife can't cook for 10 years, can't cook the okra which I love, she can go.
General, elo mwana kashinga chakutira ajaira, Tadi nisha shupa. Ba PF bajaira munganda umumwe. Bajaira, Kwa kuingirira no kwa kufumina konsebari ishiba. So nomba,
bajaira mtipinda. Vajaira mchipinda, vajaira Eastern Province, wa PF vajaira mchipinda. Wafumu yako. Too late.
Nshachumfwa chani. What did you say?
Ati I was telling Akwas wakupeta uke, ati vanakazi vajaira mchipinda. Vazolera mchipinda, wachoseko. Soma panga bwino ma blanketi, sama washa ma blanketi, soma kolopa bedroom yanu, swapanga vili vonse. So wachoseni vanakazi code wa PF.
Pongozi had a song. Ati ngati waona mkazi wako munyumba, abwera leti pa nyumba. Abisa mankwala kupilo. Akushauta pa nyumba. Ati uzibe kuti adiela. Umupereke ku polisi. Ati na polisi nao wazaweluza ati ni makali wano.
Makali wano.
Wamene ya bagaidi.
PF Munshadi wa makali wano. These guys are makali wano. For me, 21 days to go, they have to go. They can have as many virtual rallies as they want. They can spend another 5 million kwacha tomorrow next week. Fine, but they are going and they must go.
Ati makali wanu kuya bebere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those who were born in 2000, you won't know what makali wani was, but most of the people know.
No, they can go to YouTube and play. Pongo's makali wanu. They are going to see.
Before we go to the comments, there was a ship loaded with strange things, flying a Zambian flag.
General, you tell me, what was that about?
A ship flying to somewhere, probably we hear it was flying to Libya, with a Zambian flag, in a ship, a big vessel with Russians there. And the EU forces want to stop this big vessel and want to say they see it with a Zambian flag. Musha, when did we have a ship? When did Zambia ever have a vessel moving on the Mediterranean Sea?
Tetuishi mbikulifi new ni makali wanu kairi. Ububu teko bwajaira. Wamba no kuchita nomba if yo kaunda tachitire, chiruba tachitire, mwana wasa wakaede. Narupia if yo tachitire, ababena balipo balechita.
Now, how did the Russians get hold of Zambian flag to put it on a vessel? Musha, it reminds me of Rwanda. Remember some few months ago, somebody was accused of shipping things to Rwanda. You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
What were they shipping to Libya? What for? On Zambian flag. And the Zambian government is asked, who are these? No, the Russians. How did you know they were Russians? And who gave them the Zambian flag?
Irish tafik China vavikapo.
Katuishi Musha.
I think katuishi te imwe.
Musha, it's like you going to Canada, all of a sudden, you know, on your car you put an American flag there. They will stop you and say, what's happening, sir?
Ati tulima Americans nama Russians. So now that we have Americans in Zambia, kanshna tukwata nama Russians.
Nama Russians. Yeah,
they go to the Mediterranean Sea. They are flying the Zambian flag.
Nama Russian. Nama Russians.
Ataba nyoli nomba ma Russians na ma Americans. This is confusing, General.
It's sad. It's very, really sad.
Yeah.
How do they fly to Harare tonight? They've got vessels with Zambian flags. What is happening? What is going on?
Makaliwan.
Makaliwan.
Yeah.
Over to you, Musha.
That's what it is. Okay, so I'm going to see some of the comments we've got, and so when we see a comment, please just know that it's because we can't see it, and so if there is nothing personal. I don't think at your general general no vali mitmwa. At in Bwanji mo general you don't read my comments, so mufiremwaland.
This debt swap trap was butter. We told you from the word go. You are right. Ninanu Lumemba Chipulu. You are very, very right. Washing kama civil servants butter comments. You are right.
Kelenka. Christian Musenga, what happens after 3 months?
After 3 months, they will default. Those civil servants will default. Do we have a credit rating agency in Zambia?
Yes, we do.
Their names will all be going to the credit rating agency. They will spoil their credit ratings forever. So those civil servants, you are risking yourselves. Some of them even risk going to court.
Yeah. Because
the Zambian government didn't sign a contract. It's you civil servant, who signed the contract. So you default for 3 months, you go to court, and you'll be charged penalties as well.
Right. Nathan Tembo, MMD had educated thieves. That is why they used to steal and control the economy. But the problem now is that we have a lot of Dow thieves. I leave it up to you, General. What do you think?
Oh, wow. And they are failing to correct things after stealing. You are exactly. Nathan Tembo, Mukwasu, I can't blame you. I can't blame you. You know, MMD, I just don't like MMD. But they were very, very, very smart. If they were thieves, they were very smart thieves. At least they knew what they were doing. These guys are careless thieves. Not only thieves, but they can even steal. They can steal your children next door. You find the children disappeared, and you won't even know where your children are. These guys, if we give them another 5 years, you'll find a Chinese flag tomorrow posted everywhere. They will have had a debt swap with China and hand over some provinces. No, you are right, Attempt.
I wouldn't be late, you know, that up. As we are speaking right now. Debt swap everywhere.
Yeah. Modi Chinene, Mr. Chipokpak, we missed you. Oh, I missed you guys as well. It was I had to take a break because we wanted the next 20 days is going to be interesting. So we have to take some rest.
Yeah. Mia Admini is one of our supporters of our page, and so thank you. We want to be able to recognize supporters of our page right from the start because you contribute to our page, and so why not recognize you? So Mia Admini, thank you. And we are asking several other people to do what Mia Admini has done and be constant supporters of TV Bakwetu so that at the end of the month, we can make some contribution to several other beautiful endeavors in Zambia. That's all we want to do.
Yeah, Mia's comment says, I thought they signed a peace accord. Goodness, totally hopeless. You're right, Mia. To be very honest with you, I don't trust PF. I don't trust PF. There was the Secretary General of the Commonwealth saying, let's sign a peace accord. Mr. Lungu refused to go. And then he tells ECZ and the police to sign a peace accord between PF and UPN. Personally, I'm not saying UPND. I'm saying me, Norman Chipakpak. I don't trust the PF. I really don't trust them.
Yeah.
I will be very, very surprised if we put in our billboards tomorrow in the Copper Belt and Lusaka, if you find them the following day.
Yeah.
They'll be destroyed. So that peace accord to me it's a waste of time. The only peace accord which PF can feel is your voter's card on the 12th. That's what they will work them up. Mimi.
Yeah. Ndimuchiwe General. Look at that comment.
At Baby Ruth, Munsha, please, osa kamba mchinyanja. Osa yesa mchinyanja. Don't speak in nyanja. Mkuzaononga chinyanja, Munsha, please. Number 5. You are right, Baby Ruth. Chinyanja cha Munsha nicho onongeka. Nchama dimbi. So Munsha, don't speak in nyanja. Let me speak in nyanja myself.
Naleka. Kanshi nomba nakolanda in Luvale, Chokwe, Luchazi, Lunda, and Lozi. Imwe mweba kuchipata mwankana. Bakuchipata. And yet, General, I started my school in Chipata. I almost drowned in the Lute River, and I used to speak top chewa as a child.
You nearly drowned in
being rejected by my people.
You nearly drowned in Lutembo River?
Yes. I nearly drowned in Lutembo. Yeah. Is that a big river? Because my memories, you know, when you are a child, you kind of, it's a very small thing, right?
Lutembo used to be big, and I think we've damaged it by cutting a lot of trees. Yes, Lutembo River just it passes through Chipata. In the 70s, when I went to Chipata and 80s, it used to be a good river because we had not cut all the trees. But now it's always, most of the times, it's dry. It used to be a very, very, very big river, Lutembo River. Yeah, you are right.
General, I almost died at Lutembo River. It's been 30 years back, but in the 35 years ago, because I was about 6 or 7, you know. I'm in Shiadi upper hillside. So me and my mom, my step,
we're going to lose a very brilliant Munsha mwana wa kumwesu, sure, in Lutembo of all the rivers.
So imwe General ngatamwanji shiva nganalifwa Lutembo River, but my stepmother really went and swam over, grabbed my little and took me to the banks, and then they did press ups on my stomach.
Oh dear.
Anyway,
no. So you should be alias Lutembo River Munsha. I think that's your name.
Imwe uko na fuirire ngeri ishina kuti yabashani ishina uko na fuirire. No.
So any other comments, Munsha? Because I know there are a lot of people who are missing the general. The general is back.
Yeah.
And Munsha, we are having HH very soon. We'll have HH twice, talking about himself and talking about the campaign. So we are going to have Munsha and HH. We are going to try and write Mr. Lungu as well. What do you think, Munsha?
Yes, we are going to have him on this TV. He needs to see that we mean well for our country. We have nothing personally against him. All we are saying is they should stop writing and saying lies. That's all. We have the interest of Zambia at heart. So he's welcome to TV Bakwetu, and we hope that his handlers are going to bring him here. He's welcome.
Yeah, I think it's a challenge to my friend. What is his name again? Chipampe. Mr. Chipampe and your people, we know you are listening to us. Bring Mr. Lungu. We don't want Davis Miller because he won't answer our questions. I don't want Davis Miller. I want Mr. Lungu himself. I want Mr. Lungu. He's boasting of his economic recovery plan. I want to give him 1.5 hours here free. We're not charging him for anything much, are we? No, free. I want Mr. Lungu to come and tell us his economic recovery plan himself. I don't want David Miller or Antonio. I want Mr. Lungu. He can bring his papers. We won't ask him hard questions, but very easy questions. So the challenge is over to you.
Financial Intelligence Center have released their report, General. Wow. $2.5 billion stolen.
Anonymous, you are right. It's sad. It's really, really sad that the Zambian government, which says is a pro-poor government, PF pro-poor government, 2.2 billion kwacha gone, disappeared. So many other deals going on. And they ask them, they're saying, no, FIC is not an investigative organization. Their job is just to submit a report. No. They're reporting that there's corruption, and corruption valued at 2.2 billion. Zambians, are you listening to that? The question is, where has this 2.2 billion gone? What could have 2.2 billion done in our hospitals? Musha, I've just finished a meeting now, an hour ago. We are still talking of oxygen cylinders. We are still talking about, all these equipment which are needed. Can you imagine what 2.2 billion kwacha would have done for our hospitals?
You're right. And General, we need to be very clear here. Most of our people are dying not just because of COVID. No. They are dying because there is no oxygen in our hospitals. Our relatives, oxygen. Oxygen.
Musha, I was talking to a friend of mine who was a PS before I went for my break.
Yeah.
He was down for 2 weeks. And when he had oxygen on, and then electricity went for 30 minutes. This man was saying he was busy trying to phone the managing director of ZESCO to say, please, before I die. Yeah. So our people are dying not because of COVID. Yes, COVID is there. Chipata, in Lundazi, yesterday, the mother to my friend Idris Ugrada in Chipata died.
Right.
They're dying because there's no oxygen.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
General, we've got someone who is calling himself Niza Oton Chirwa. Now, I know we do have a very personal relationship with Oton Chirwa.
Niza iwe Oton Chirwa. Oton Chirwa, I know, was a Malawian. Kapena ni wa Malawi, and you're saying Takapite, una maboza mukwasu. And so Oton Chirwa, we know that's a fake name because they give you names. Lie, if you are very courageous, Niza Oton, come to my inbox. Let's talk, man. Let's talk. If you are very courageous, come.
Yeah.
You have just one vote like me, so you cannot say that.
Yeah.
One vote you have, my brother.
Yeah.
Probably you don't even have a voter because you are Niza Oton Chirwa. The Oton Chirwa I knew was the father of somebody from Malawi. I won't mention who the daughter was.
Tulengira mu history kwena General. I think people on TV wakwetu here it's everything. This is pure education, history. It all combined together, and a little bit of entertainment, because in General you are an entertainer. So a little bit of entertainment, but otherwise the bigger picture is education, passion, love for the country, and a little bit of entertainment.
And the economy, of course, the economy.
And the economy, yeah. And endorsing HH for president. While you are fully partisan in a completely independent, absolutely independent.
Musha, it will not be called multi-party democracy if we all support HH. Yeah. Some people must support Lulu and Dudu. That's what makes it to be called democracy.
Yeah.
We cannot all support PF. It's not possible.
Yeah.
Especially PF, which has made our people die from COVID, which has stolen from the farmers through FIFIP, which has stolen from our people through I will not mention the company which is stealing money from oil. If you post me, I will mention the name, okay? We will not allow these companies stealing fertilizer, these Zambian Guptas, to continue. That will not be allowed to happen. From the 13th of August, it's not going to happen.
Right. General,
and I'm sorry, Musha, some of them will end up in jail.
Yeah, there is a comment from one of your best fans. Read it.
Kings M. Guys, bees attending a national matters. Hey, Kings, go to Congo night school for 2 years. That's when you can come back, okay?
General, Kings is not Congolese.
No, I'm just telling him to go to Congo for 2 years because there's a very good school in Congo, in Kinshasa here. I can recommend that. He can go for night school for 2 years. That's when he can come back and comment.
General, but he's not. I just need to make it clear. He's not Congolese.
No, I'm not saying he's Congolese. I haven't said that much. I'm just
so why should he go to Congo?
There's a good school in Congo. A very good school in Congo, which can help him learn a bit, okay? He can go and learn for 2 years.
Kings.
2 years, and then come back. That's when we can talk about national matters, Kings Malembe. There's nothing you know about national matters.
Mwandi Kings, twali kutemwa. And Lembeni Mbo, very wonderful music. After this program, it's very wonderful. So keep it up.
Musha, you listen to his music?
Yes,
I don't. I would rather get my Bible because to me, sorry to say it, he's fake. He's a liar. So I don't listen to liars. I don't. So you can listen to his music. I don't. I would take I would rather read my Bible. I would rather read Genesis or Acts.
General. Pushikaista mo umfwefi wadisha. Ala wafili mbombu lumendoyo.
Musha.
Even when I try to resist, General, I can't resist. Kwamba fyokushana. Nangu ni mfuluwa ndelosha kaun, nangu ndelosha nga luali na fye Kings ine kwamba fyokushana shana.
There's a saying that not all that glitters is gold alone. Not all those white who wear white suits will go to heaven. Musha. Okay?
Malembe. Yeah, mwe. Kwene General tamwamu temoyo mulumendo mwe.
No, because he is rude. So I'm able to tell him to go to Congo. Quality school is Sumatana to Congo, because probably Zambian University will be too complicated for him.
Yeah.
And if he was lucky, I was going to bring him
to if you if we to chudi General our Kings tuwerere ko luse tatualiko uko imwe mwale umfuana na siya wan nefe mwale chita nefe mwale edia nefe mwa I will not use nyanja because baby rutabante mwe vamene mwenze kudia
Pamene muna kuvinira venastia one kuna libe.
If we are innocent.
We're not there, but we're not there.
But thank you, Kings. Always ndakonkama comments. In such type of a comment because it's a complete waste of time. But Nadia Mona, ulanchitana he really tags us. Every General and Elias Musha come here and he tags us.
The other day, somebody said, "Go and see what." Your boss is a young boy. That young boy, he was dancing at a house and showing off a house. We are not the only one building Kings Malembe. We are all building. So don't show off your little houses.
Yeah, our General, I think we are getting out of control.
No. That is truth because he wants to show off. We don't show off. So you can show off and dance at your house and don't show us off.
Our general, I think we need to close this. We must go and sleep. I can't take this anymore.
No, let's take the last comment, Munke. Let's take the last comment. I am fired up for a PM. I'm very, very fired up now.
Yeah. Munjerereko, people, please. Munjerereko, because I'm completely heartbroken. to see General going after King's Malembe in this manner. Because I never expected to go at King's after eating so many things from CR1. Vadia.
Kudya na kuvina ngako na maringi mavala. Then you want to show us off. What are you trying to show us off? No, we're not interested in King's Malembe.
Innocent people. Tatuariko.
And now he says we should talk about what national matters. What do you know about national matters, King? Nothing. Talk about your music. Probably you can teach us about your music. You don't know how the nation is run. You don't even know how the economy is run, and probably you only know how to build. Kama bricks. Kama bricks na cement. Yes,
I love the way you articulate issues and really pointing bad things right in the so-called state faces. That's Lawrence Mumba. Thank you, Lawrence. And
Lawrence, I just love your cover, LM, the fantastic Lawrence. Thank you so much, Lawrence. We'll be frank, and I know that our PF don't want to hear the truth. We'll tell the truth, and nothing else but the truth.
Anyway, on this note, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to go. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very Kings.
He says he knows more about us. You know nothing, Kings. Nothing. You know nothing. Okay? You don't know nothing about us. And whatever you know is nothing. So good night, Zambia, and we love you. And please keep safe. Keep safe from COVID. Make sure that you wear your masks if you can. Make sure that you don't go to the markets without a mask, and make sure that you protect your families. We love you, Zambia, and good night.
I think there was an interruption in our programming there. Yeah, I think I've lost General. I think there was an interruption in our programming. And so, yeah, there was an interruption in our program. We've got to end here. Thank you very much for joining us. God bless you, and God bless our country. Thank you.